Alright guys, so this is Ivacy VPN's pricing page. As you can see, for 1 month it's pretty standard. $10 a month is pretty much the most standard VPN price you can get. In terms of the 2-year plan, it's going to be $54, and for 1 year it's going to be $40. So this seems to be too good, right? Too good to be true. Not sure what's going on here with Ivacy VPN. Not sure why they are selling their VPN for so cheap. $40 a year is extremely cheap. $54 for 2 years is very cheap as well. Looks like we do have an add-on cost for dedicated IP, and we do have some options here with lots of payments, which is good. I just still think, what is going on here with this cheap 2-year plan? Are they just trying to get people to sign up for 2 years? Are they gonna sell? Well, they are owned by the same company who owns PureVPN, so not really sure what's going on here. Well, it's a cheap VPN by all means. Alright guys, so this is what Ivacy's VPN's application looks like. One weird thing is I noticed that this is kind of like stuck here after setting up Ivacy VPN. I can't get it to go away. I can't click cancel. I can't really close it. Might have to do task manager, control alt delete, take it down that way, or just restart my computer. Not sure what's going on there. Kind of weird. Never seen that before. The weird part is the application installed and is working as normal, so it's just kind of a funny little thing there. Anyways guys, application is quite a nice interface. I do like it. Basically it kind of works tabular interface, kind of sorta similar to PureVPN, which is no surprise since they're owned by the same company. So with the application, you have the ability to secure your download, stream with it, unblock, maybe geo restrictions or just anything. Dedicated IP, which is an add-on, I guess, so you have to enter it in right here. And of course we have some account details, and then the settings is usually the meat of the application. We do have IP and DNS leak protection, which is good. A little bit odd, it requires administrator privileges, not seen that before. But we do also have some connection settings. I do like being able to choose between these different ones. UDP is going to be like my default for speed test since it's the most commonly used one. We do have an internet kill switch and split tunneling as well, so you can route the traffic through different applications like this. PureVPN also has split tunneling, I think, as well as some other applications out there. Not too many though. Split tunneling, I'm not really too sure how I feel about it. It could be, you know, potential security lapses with split tunneling or something like that, but it is kind of cool to see some of these, you know, innovative features that you don't see that often, even if they're not super useful. And we do see multi-port, which allows you to kind of customize your ports and stuff like that, which is pretty handy and pretty standard. Besides that though, not too much else to the application. Pretty good though. We'll have to test out the streaming compatibility in the streaming compatibility section, and now we're going to be moving on to the speed test section. So one thing I don't really encounter too much with VPN is when I try to connect to a server, it actually doesn't work. Sometimes this happened to me a fair amount in the last couple years before I made my YouTube channel when I was first testing out VPNs. VPNs were a little bit more buggy and unreliable in that time. But I haven't really come across a VPN that's kind of had this error before. Now what happens is sometimes it just won't really let you connect to certain servers, and other servers will work fine. So a little bit weird here. Let's see if it works connecting to a different server rather than the one I picked before. No, it doesn't work again. Well, let's go ahead and try shutting down the application. So shutting down the application did not fix the problem. I'm gonna have to restart my computer and see if that fixes it. Okay, now that we have restarted the computer, let's see if it works now. Oh, I think I might know what the problem is if it doesn't work. Maybe Ivacy doesn't work with OpenVPN UDP. I might have to switch it to IKV2 to get it to work. Alright, so it didn't work again. Let's go ahead and see if that could be the problem. So we go into the connection, switch it to IKV. This is kind of like the default setting that I wanted to use, so maybe that's what will fix it. If it doesn't work with these protocols though, that's pretty annoying to see that it doesn't you know, work with the ones provided. It should work. Yep, that was a problem. So it looks like that Ivacy VPN might not be working with UDP TCP maybe. It only seems to be working with IKE as a protocol option, which is definitely kind of dumb. Alright, so testing out the speeds so far is very, very disappointing. So much so that I'm like, do I have another VPN on accident? Doesn't seem like I do. This is a really high ping, extremely slow download rate. I might have to play around with some other servers because this does not seem to be like the fastest VPN ever. Testing out another server to see if we could get a better speeds than before. Those speeds, to be quite honest, were awful. These speeds look to be a lot better. Not sure what was going on there. We might want to test out some other servers as well, just to see, you know, if there's any other servers that are just as bad. These look to be more like the speeds that I expected. PureVPN looks like it is the same service PureVPN is using. So like I said before, it is the same company, and PureVPN was pretty fast in my speed tests. So we'll have to see again, you know, how these speeds work out in real world torrent tests. And we might want to do a little bit more tests here on a couple different servers to see, you know, if there's any other servers that are quite, to be say, okay. So testing out another server, I do see really high ping here as well, but a pretty okay download rate. Looks like with Ivacy VPN, speeds definitely do vary depending on which kind of server you connect to. A lot of the servers seem to have ping problems, download rate problems. You know, you might have to play around a little bit to get a fast server, and that server will be pretty fast, but it's definitely a little bit of a letdown to see subpar speeds and connections from a good amount of the servers. Especially my ping and upload rate here is very slow and not what I would expect from a good VPN provider. Okay guys, we are testing out Ivacy VPN with just kind of the standard connection, kind of like the Smart Connect server. We could go ahead and test out some of the other kind of tabular ways to connect. If we'll see increased speeds there, I'll let you know. But for now, we're getting pretty good speeds with this server. The server that I tested to be the fastest speed, keep in mind, not the slower ones. We're getting pretty good speeds between 3 to 4 megabytes a second, which is pretty fast. Definitely kind of in tier 2 range for speeds. Not the fastest VPN, but faster than most VPNs, and that's kind of what I expected. In my PureVPN test, I got around the same speeds. So overall, pretty good speeds here. Let's go ahead and pause it and try a couple different servers. Another thing about this application is sometimes it feels a little unpolished. If I click here, nothing actually happens. You would think it would be some kind of tooltip that tells you what it does, but there's nothing actually there in terms of functionality. Alright guys, so testing out another server. The secure download doesn't seem to be quite as fast for me. Well, actually, it's kind of picking up a little bit, maybe not as quiet, but still decent speeds, just not quite as quick as the one I found manually that was close to my location that seemed to be fast. That's probably the best way to do it if you want to download stuff pretty quickly with Ivacy VPN. But again, not the fastest VPN compared to some VPNs like TorGuard, Air VPN. Those are definitely faster than for torrenting than Ivacy VPN in my tests. So Ivacy VPN does collect some monitor logs, and you could see them listed here, like events occurred, performance data, connection attempts, application used with, and aggregated bandwidth usage. So just kind of small forms of connection logs that they say doesn't identify you. However, it's still a logging policy in my opinion. Not only that guys, but Ivacy VPN being linked to PureVPN also shares some of that reputation. PureVPN gave up logs on users in the past, showing that they do collect logs. Not only that, but PureVPN also could be connected to a lot of review sites out there, but not properly disclosing it, which is definitely a little bit questionable. Alright guys, so like PureVPN, which is pretty much the same company, Ivacy VPN has pretty good live chat. It's always available on the website, and it's very responsive when I talk to them. Now, it's probably good for most basic questions, but like I said again, I kind of expected there to be pretty good live chat here since the company seems to share a lot of things between servers, probably the same customer support team and everything like that. Overall, no major complaints here with PureVPN's / Ivacy VPN's live chat. Alright guys, now we are on to the streaming compatibility section. With PureVPN, I got a perfect 5 out of 5 compatibility because PureVPN's kind of proxy extension actually worked with all the services. It wouldn't work within the VPN application, but Ivacy VPN, as far as I could tell, doesn't have this proxy extension. So with my tests, Netflix worked, Hulu worked, but Prime Video did not work and BBC iPlayer did not work. So it gets a 2.5 out of 5 in this category for streaming compatibility. Alright guys, so for the final review, we're going to break it down in each category. pricing is going to be 5 out of 5. Ivacy VPN has very good pricing, almost suspiciously so. It is pretty much the cheapest VPN out there, no questions asked, without any discount codes at all. Now, VPN is cheaper per year at $30, and for 2 years it's going to be around $60, and even Ivacy VPN beats that for the second year price for around $50, which is pretty insane. Application, guys, is 2 out of 5. Now, I do like how it has the streaming kind of modular interface similar to pure VPN. However, I found a lot of bugs testing out this application. Installing it, there's like that frozen thing. Not only that, but some of the features and protocols weren't working correctly. And also, I just found it overall pretty buggy, and the features weren't anything that special. But again, an application in this modern day with so many VPNs really does have to be flawless in order to get, you know, a good rating in this section. The speed is actually quite good in certain tests. However, in other tests, it's actually quite horrible. Torrent speeds were okay to pretty good. However, I didn't really like how inconsistent the speeds were overall. The reputation here, it kind of shares pure VPN's reputation. It's honestly not the best reputation. They do collect some small logs, and additionally they gave out logs on users in the past that were criminals who were using the service. Pure VPN reportedly based in Hong Kong, but still gave up logs to the United States government. Just again proving that jurisdiction doesn't really matter too much. Instead, it's what the customer does and what the company does, and if you can trust them. In this case, they don't have the best track record. Not only that, but they could potentially own affiliate websites that they aren't disclosing. Some of the biggest ones out there giving Pure VPN and Ivacy VPN really good reviews, when in fact they might not deserve it. Customer support here is unquestionably very solid, very good live chat, and very good response times from helpful chat members. Streaming compatibility only works with Netflix and Hulu and is a little bit buggy to boot. BBC iPlayer and Prime Video don't work, so that's definitely a letdown. Overall though, guys, it's a tier 2 VPN, 3 out of 5. Honestly, it's scraping the bottom of tier 2, almost going into tier 3, not recommended, because it's very inconsistent in a lot of ways. Now, it is very cheap and it has good live chat. However, some categories are obviously very low. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. My name is Tom Spark, and I'll see you again very soon on the next VPN review.